Nature is the door to happiness.
The things that you see, the experiences that you have while kayaking stand out.
Not only is it people's own personal kind of spiritual experiences that we try to create in the wilderness for people, it's also like this community building thing, right?
There are lots of keys you can use to unlock it.
And like we all got to be Goonies for a little bit if we grew up in the 80s. That was an absolute dream to go find, a pirate's chest full of gold.
Now, as you can tell, we're pretty passionate about catfishing. We could keep talking all night long, really.
Let us help you find your key. Welcome to the 12 Hike Podcast.
Open my eyes, and here's this Milky Way, and I'm looking at this, and like it was an instant reaction. Like I went to nudge somebody next to me because I wanted them to see the same thing I was seeing. I wanted to share that with somebody, and it was.
The men and women that served in the United States Armed Forces, our firefighters, our police officers, I think sometimes get taken for granted. These are the people that when they wake up every day, they're not entirely sure that they'll live to make it home to their families. They sacrifice mental trauma, physical trauma, all in order to keep us safe. And it's hard for us as civilians to pay them back. We can thank them for their service. We can honor them on Veterans Day. But there aren't a whole lot of people that go out of their way to really, truly make an impact on these people's lives. I had the honor and pleasure of speaking with Adam from an organization called Fishing for Freedom. Fishing for Freedom takes 300 veterans or warriors, which are active duty officers or active duty military, and they treat them to a weekend of fun, fishing, and above all, honor. They treat them with the respect and dignity they deserve. It's all free, it's all volunteer help, and it's an organization that has for 10 years made it their goal to simply show their appreciation for our veterans. So hopefully you enjoy listening to the things that this organization does as much as I did. This is Zach Jenkins. Thank you for listening to the 12 Hike Podcast.
Good, Zach. How are you?
Well, hanging right in there to scarf some dinner real quick before I head down this way. I do all my recording in the basement, so
Gotcha.
It took me a second to get everything set up.
You're fine. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, you're good and clear.
Perfect.
That's part of the thing I like about this, the computer-based recordings. As long as you have a good internet connection, everything comes through crystal clear.
Good deal.
There may be another guy jumping in to join us. He's actually kind of, I guess you can call him my podcast partner.
Okay.
But if he just pops in, we'll just let him kind of fold into the conversation as he comes in.
Sure.
So, Adam, what is your position with Fishing for Freedom?
I am the director of media. For this year, I do a lot of other things also, but my official title is director of media.
Is that just for this year, or have you been the director of media for a while?
Last year, I was the director of escorts. I was in charge of getting all of our motorcycle escorts, our police, our conservation police, our fire trucks, all of that stuff for all of our escorts from our fishing areas to our main weigh-in. So last year was my first year as an actual board member.
Okay.
But I've been helping for probably 5 years.
Okay. Well, before we get into all the technicalities, I wouldn't mind kind of finding out a little bit about your background. Are you a military vet?
I'm not.
Okay. How did you get involved with Fishing for Freedom then?
I want to say, actually, it's probably been about 6 years. My brother and my dad have helped as boaters for, I think, 8 of the 9 years, I believe. So I've always known what Fishing for Freedom is. I've always volunteered, but I was always in college during all of the planning and all that stuff, so I could never be as big of a part as I am now. So I just volunteered on the weekend of, and now that I've graduated, I've helped out the past 2 years.
Okay. So you say your brother and your dad were boaters. I assume you are also an avid angler?
Yes. I've catfish and crappie fished my whole life. I got into the bass fishing stuff in college, had some success with that, and now I just pretty much fish for fun.
Okay. So born and raised in Illinois?
Yep, right here in Quincy.
Yeah. So you actually had a bass fishing team in college, I assume?
Yeah, we did. We called it, I guess SIUE Bassmasters is what it was called, but we fished mainly the FLW series, college fishing stuff.
Mm-hmm. I totally missed the boat. I went to a small college in southern Ohio, and whenever I went, we did not have bass fishing tournament or bass fishing teams, and
right.
Boy, did I wish we did.
Yeah, I was involved with it just because we had a lake on campus, and I wanted to go fishing whenever I could. So I got involved with it, I believe, my freshman year, first semester, actually. And I was involved with it for 3 years, and then I started to do like the vice president, and then I ended up becoming the president. I actually never fished my first actual tournament until my senior year. In the very first tournament, we finished 14th out of 168, I believe, and qualified for the national championship. So we did pretty good.
That's not bad. And see, in the place I'm from, we were right on the Ohio River, and for the life of me, I don't know why they didn't have some kind of catfishing thing going, because, the Ohio River can produce some pretty big catfish.
Right.
So, born in Illinois, has always been a fisherman. You say you like to fish for crappie?
Yeah, crappie was always my thing growing up. Crappie and then stinkbait catfishing. Lately, I've been doing. We've been going out on the Mississippi and trying to target the bigger fish. So we've been catching some in the area of 10 to 20 pounds, and we might actually go this Friday and try to catch a couple more big ones. The big ones are biting now.
Yeah, flatheads, blue cats.
Lately has been mostly blue cats and channel cats, but flatheads we used to catch all kinds of them when I was a kid on bank poles and trot lines and stuff like that. But rod and reels mainly channel and blue cats.
That's something we never did growing up, was trot lines and bank poles. We always just dunked, like you said, kind of stink bait stuff.
Yep.
I don't know, just never got into it.
Yep,
but I loved crappie fish. That's my favorite. Oh,
yep.
Man.
I'm pretty good at that depending on the day and where we go.
You got a preferred method for, let's just say, spring spawn. What do you like to do?
We pretty much just use the same bait lure all the time. As soon as they start moving up off the bottom into 8-10 foot of water or something like that, we use what's called a slider, Charlie Brewer slider. That's pretty much all we use. Just casting at the bank and reel it in slow.
Yep. That's what I love about crappie. If you can find them, it's just all day fun because you catch them one after another.
Yep. We went to a farm pond here about a month ago, and I think we caught 62 out of the same tree within maybe 20 yards, pretty much surrounding that tree.
Man, what a day. That makes me sick.
Yep.
Since I've moved to Colorado, I haven't had a chance to go out and find any crappie near me. I don't think Colorado really holds a lot of good crappie fishing, but I'm missing it because we had them dialed in Ohio. We knew where they were. Okay, enough fishing talk. You're just getting me all fired up. So, as far as Fishing for Freedom, do you know who started it, when it started?
It was started in 2011 with a guy named Bob Havermail, his wife Karen, and then a few other people from here in Quincy. They got together. They saw a similar event is in Texas every year. They saw what they did, so they thought they could bring that to Quincy and basically expand on the Fishing for Freedom name. So they created their own event here in Quincy, and we've expanded ever since.
So is the Fishing for Freedom in Quincy like an affiliate of other chapters of Fishing for Freedom? How's that work?
We're not actually affiliated with each other. We have the same name, but we don't work together. They do their event, we do our event kind of thing. Obviously, we have people, warriors and boaters, that go to both events, but we don't actually work with each other. We're not against each other. We just don't work with each other. We're two separate entities.
Okay. So across the country, how many different Fishing for Freedoms are there? You said one in Texas, one in Quincy.
There's another one at Truman Lake in Missouri. It's over towards Arkansas, to the west of Lake of the Ozarks, if you know where that is. So I know of 3 for sure. I don't know if there's any more off the top of my head. I don't believe so.
Okay. I mean, do you know? So why fishing? I guess is it more accessible for vets, or what was the idea behind picking fishing as the idea?
Here in the area, we do hunting related events also, but obviously with hunting, it's a lot harder to get more people involved due to land and tags and stuff like that. So fishing's pretty easy. Anybody can do it. You can pretty much go anywhere that there's water and catch fish or do a tournament like this. So fishing was just easier. So ever since, like I said, we've been expanding, and we've started on the Mississippi River. Now we have the Mississippi River, Mark Twain Lake over in Missouri. This last year we had a lot of flooding, so we actually had to expand to 4 more lakes to split everybody up. And then one of our board members has his own private lake that we take our warriors that are not easily able to get in a boat. So they will fish off the bank or off the dock, or if they can get in a boat, we'll put them on the boat.
So with expanding lakes and stuff, last year you did the escort stuff. What's the process of getting anglers to show up and help?
Now that we're pretty well up and running with our feet on the ground, it's pretty easy to get warriors to come. We have a 300 warrior cap every year, and we always fill that for the past, I don't know how many years we've always filled it. Boaters, they're a little bit harder to get because, they're the people that say, what do I get out of this? Or why do I have to spend my own money to come do this? But then they come and they realize how great of an event it is, and they go home with that satisfaction of making someone's weekend, someone's life. They made a positive impact on someone's life. So when we can do that, help people make positive impacts, they go back and tell their friends and say, hey, this is a great event. Just like you contacting me, you found out through other people, this is a great event. You guys need to come join us this year, next year, whenever, and help us out. So we've expanded like that, and it's just been going good since.
Yeah, Roger he was talking up Fishing for Freedom quite a bit. He just said the whole weekend is great. He said it's one of the best things he's ever done. Mm-hmm. He kind of really briefly talked about the weekend, but so for an angler that shows up, how long is the weekend? When does it start, and what does it look like for him?
So our weekend starts out at about 4:00 on Friday. We start out with what we call the meet and greet. We do a fish fry. Sometimes we do trap and archery, depending on the weather. Just a big meet and greet party. We have a band afterwards, and then we kind of shut our part down. And then one of the other venues here in town has a band, so a lot of people travel down there. So Friday nights is just a big meet and greet, eat dinner, meet your boater or your warrior if they're there. Fill out all your registration, make sure we've got all your information, all that kind of stuff. And then Saturday, if your boater is available or your warrior, you can go pre-fish Saturday morning. So all the way up until 4:00, you can fish all morning. We do lunch for everybody that's in Quincy on Saturday at about noon. Saturday night around 4:30, we start our banquet. We have everybody come together, all the boaters, all the warriors, family.